Welcome to day 3 of our 7-day challenge. Today's flow is our hips. So we're going to start in a cross-legged position and we're going to be folding forward over our legs. This is going to be where we start out today. So go ahead and get on your mat. As a reminder, you need to be subscribed and be following me on Instagram in order to be eligible to win one of the prizes for our challenge. So as we're settling in, just start to take deep breaths here. Feel the air fill up the back of your lungs and then your back expand as you're folded over here. Walk the hands over to your left side and the forehead comes to the left knee, but still try to keep that right sit bone glued to your mat. So keep both sit bones down and then walk over to the right side, trying to see if you can reach the forehead to the right knee. Again, keeping your left sit bone on the floor, really feeling the stretch into those hips. Just gentle as we begin, and then come back towards center and relax forward one more time. See if you can walk the hands out a bit further and go deeper into this hip opener. On an inhale, rise back up to sitting, and we're going to plant the feet in front of us, bring the weight forward into a forward fold, and actually wiggle, sort of heel toe the feet out about as wide as our mat. So we're in this sort of wide-legged fold. This is much more opening in the hips, gives us a little bit more room to wiggle around, room for the torso to drop down further. Go ahead and keep a bend in the knee if that's what feels good. You can grab opposite elbows to take kind of a ragdoll fold and bend into one knee and the other, shifting the weight back and forth, just wiggling the hips and doing what feels good in your body. Go ahead and make your way down onto the knees. We're going to step the right foot forward into a low lunge here. You can take this pretty gentle at first. You don't have to go to your full extension. I like to keep my back foot tucked and just sink the hips lower to the mat. I keep my hands on my hips. We're stretching into the front of that left hip or the hip flexor. Just doing what feels good. You can reach the hands now down to the mat. If the mat is feeling super far away, you can put your hands on blocks or a stack of books, or even just rise up onto the fingertips like I'm doing here, just trying to reach the chest forward. Going to lift the back knee, push in strong to both feet, and rise up into our high lunge or crescent lunge. Again, trying to straighten that back leg to feel that stretch in the hip flexor. And if you're feeling confident here, see if you can shift the gaze to the ceiling and take a little bit of a back bend or an arch here, just opening up towards the sky. And then lowering the knee back down, placing the hands on the mat, wiggling the right foot all the way across the mat, across our body, and then settling down into a pigeon here. We want our hip bones to both still be facing the top of the mat, so the top of the back foot is pressing into the mat. And then trying to stay up nice and tall. If you're feeling confident, you can lift the arms to let gravity push you a little bit further before we settle and fold forward over that bent leg. On an inhale, rise back up and push the hands into the mat so you can wiggle that foot back across into a low lunge. You can set the back knee down once more. See if you can sink a little bit deeper than we did the first time. Pushing ourselves to that line where we can feel the stretch. And then lift that knee and place it back in line with the left. And we're going to take the same thing on the left side. Stepping the left foot forward and sinking down into the lunge on this side. Again, just taking it gentle at first. Then go ahead and reach the fingertips towards the mat, trying to keep the chest reaching forward and the spine nice and long. Seeing you can sink a little bit deeper. Remember to breathe nice and deep into these sort of intense stretches, sending all that fresh air to the hips. Tuck under the back foot and then press into the feet to rise into your crescent lunge. arms up, reach into the sky, and if you're comfortable, take the gaze to the sky, staying nice and strong here, straightening that back leg as much as you can. And then exhaling, let the finger come back to the mat, knee comes down, and we wiggle that foot across, this time on our pigeon on the left side. Get yourself situated in good alignment. Remember that if the bum or hips are not on the mat, you can always put a block or a pillow underneath to support it. See if you can raise up the arms to let gravity make you go a little bit deeper, and then you can crawl the hands forward and fold over the leg. On an inhale, use your hands to push yourself upright. Push into the mat and wiggle the left foot back across to your low lunge. You can drop the back knee. See if we can sink a bit deeper on this side, breathing deeply to help those joints and muscles. And then go ahead and rise back onto the back knee. See if you can lift that front foot and place the knee next to your right. Walk the hands to the top of the mat and tuck the toes and come into your downward dog position. We're trying to stay nice and long in the spine. You can keep a bend in the knee, just reaching the heels towards the mat. We're going to take the right leg to the sky and bend that knee, and then draw some big circles with that knee. We're trying to keep the rest of our body as still as possible, only moving that hip joint on the right side. Take 3 or 4 circles going one way, then reverse and take 3 or 4 the other way. Just making that as big of a rotation as you can while keeping the rest of our body still. Keeping that leg bent, we're gonna bring it forward like we're coming back to our pigeon, but we're gonna swing the left leg up over the top and stack our knees. We're in our cow face legs here. So sitting up nice and tall, the further you take the heels from your bum, the more intense you're gonna feel this hip stretch. So just adjust to where you can feel that stretch, and then see if you can walk the hands forward and fold over the legs. Again, trying to keep the spine nice and long, but you still wanna fold enough to feel that intense opening in the outside of the hips. As you rise back up onto your seat, we're gonna rewind and go exactly the way we came. So take the left leg behind us, push into the hands, and come back to our downward dog. This time taking the left leg high and then bending into the knee, taking those big circles on this side. Pick one direction, go 3 or 4 times, like there's a pencil point on your knee that you're trying to draw as big of a circle as you can, and then take it the other direction. That bent leg forward, setting it down, coming onto the bum and swinging that right leg. Now this one's on top, stacking the knees and then getting yourself situated, and then folding forward until you can feel that opening in the outside of each hip, adjusting yourself if you need to. Big breaths here, never forget to breathe. This time as you come up to sitting, we're just going to take the knees in front of us, staying on the bum, and then lay down on our mat. Bring the knees in to give them a big hug, squeeze into the chest before releasing everything back down to the mat and preparing for your Shavasana. I encourage you to close off the eyes if you're comfortable, and if you have the time, stay here for as long as you would like. Just taking a minute to decompress, to find some stillness here before you have to move on with the rest of your day. Thank you so much for flowing with me. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 4. Remember to make sure you're subscribed to my channel and following me on Instagram. Leave me a comment down below to let me know how you liked today's flow.